Check one. I was still checking the mic, man. Hey, it's the What Up Doe, the What Up Doe, the What Up Doe Show. Man, I was checking the mic and y'all coming on the air. What's up? What's going on, man? This is that kind of morning. I know I need my coffee. Hold on, I'm gonna sip my coffee. It's early, man. It is early. It is not early. It's actually late, but it's early to me because I had trouble sleeping last night. So I got up late, and then while I was getting ready for the show, I get a phone call that was too involved. It was one of those calls I was debating. Do I answer it? Do I let it go? Do I answer it? Do I let it go? It was work related, and I'm not at work, so I was supposed to just let it go, but I answered it, and it ended up being a long ass phone call talking about some stuff I don't want to hear about right now, because I'm trying to do the What Up Doe Show. So what up, though, bitch? Anyway, let's do some birthday shouts, man. I got my boy Rick Caesar. He's out there on blowing my phone up right now because he's on the road going from Cleveland back to San Antonio, and he needs somebody to talk to, and he's just blowing my phone up. But that's not the call I was talking about. I'm just hearing my text messages go off. Anyway, happy birthday to Deborah Carr. The beautiful Tina Hayward, Kitty Scola, all the way back from Warren, and last but not least, the beautiful DeMonica Gladney. Happy birthday to all of y'all. Mm-hmm. And that's that to that, and let's go and get this party started.
The What Up Doe Show. Your commentary on sports, entertainment, and alternative news.
Yo, check this out. We've got a lot to cover today. And I think I figured out my issues from the last one. So we're going to shoot the sports first. The Los Angeles Clippers officially sold to former Microsoft CEO Steve Ballmer for $2 billion. How sad for Donald Sterling. All those racist remarks only made him $2 billion. Shit. Maybe I need to sling around a few racial slurs. I could use money. Man, I thought the doggone music was off. I could use a couple billion. Sling a few racial slurs. Oh, niggas, hunky spits. What y'all talking about? Pay me $1. Give me $1. Give me 50. I'll take $50 for it. $2 billion? On a serious note, man, it's a lot of serious stuff been going on lately. I'm going to touch on a couple of them now, and I'll touch on one later. I don't know if you saw the video of Tony Stewart where he ran over another driver and killed him. The 22-year-old black man, he first ran him off the road. They were racing at night in these dirt box cars. I don't know what you call them. But he ran him up into the wall. So the brother climbed out of his car, wrongfully so. He shouldn't be out on the track. And when Tony Stewart was coming back around, he, stood out like he was trying to confront him and stop the car. And Tony Stewart ran his ass over and killed him. And I was hearing on Sports Talk Radio telling me how it wasn't as bad. It wasn't intentional. And but still, it was Mike Lupica I heard talking about it. And he was saying it wasn't as bad as it sounded, but it was ugly. But he could see how Tony Stewart didn't realize that there was a guy out there. He saw the first car swerve, but probably didn't have time to notice that a guy was standing in the road, and it didn't appear he hit him intentionally. However, Tony Stewart had planned on racing like the next day in NASCAR because his championship I don't know how NASCAR scoring works, but his championship was on the line, so his status, so he wanted to race the next day. I saw the video finally yesterday. I don't know if you saw this, but find a place online where you can see this video if you get a chance. I don't agree, Mike Lupica. It looked to me like Tony Stewart intentionally ran this guy over. And for him to feel like it was okay to race the next day, he needed his ass beat, for one. I'm glad that he didn't. But now he's under investigation as to whether or not he did that intentionally, because I guess some people started to complain like, no, he meant to kill this guy. He may not have meant to kill him, but he definitely meant to hit him. And the fact that he meant to hit him and did hit him, and it caused the young man's death. This was a 22-year-old man, and he caused his death. That sounds to me like vehicular manslaughter, and he should get prison time. And I really didn't feel this way when I heard about it, because it didn't look that bad. They made it sound a lot better than it looked. Even though they told me it was horrible. It was a horrible thing to see, blah, 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 but it looked like that he did that shit on purpose. And he should go to prison. And also, while I'm on a serious note, I'm going to touch on one more thing. Todd Bridges made a statement that he thought Robin Williams committing suicide was a selfish act. So it came out how he killed himself. He hanged himself with his belt after an unsuccessful attempt to slit his wrist. I agree that suicide is a selfish act. But depression is a very real thing. So I hear a lot of people saying it's cowardice. He's a coward, and I'm not going there. I'm really not. Suicide is not easy to do, quite frankly. I don't think it's cowardice at all. I think it takes a lot of balls to go through with it, especially after a failed attempt. And it's hard to hurt yourself. It really is, especially fatally wound yourself. That's not a cowardice act. Selfish, yes, but depression is very, very real. And when it takes you over, you don't have a lot of self-control. When it takes you over, you don't have a lot of self-worth. No matter who you are, what you have, and what you've done. Needless to say, Robin Williams was a very accomplished actor / comedian, one of the greatest entertainers of our time. I heard someone say yesterday he's on the Mount Rushmore of greats. And I would agree with that. I mean, he's done some phenomenal work. So yeah, no, I'm not feeling that he's cowardice. Selfish, yeah, I'm gonna go with that. I'll buy that. But I think we should lay off of calling it a cowardice act. Rest in peace, Robin Williams, please. And let him rest in peace, y'all. Let's get on to some What Up Doe news. I'm lighting the mood a little bit. In Seattle, Washington being a state where legalized marijuana for recreational use has been approved. A female suspected cell phone thief called 911 to get in touch with the Seattle Police Department because the man she stole a cell phone from wouldn't leave her alone. The suspect told Seattle police that the man was napping on a metro bus when he awoke and accused the woman and her boyfriend of taking his phone. The man corroborated that he had been on the bus, but told police he started chasing the suspect and her boyfriend after they grabbed his phone and took off. When he asked him to return the phone, the pair allegedly punched and kicked him in the head. Officers searched the woman and found the victim's phone and crack cocaine. Surprised? Not at all. If that wasn't a dope fiend move, I don't know what was. In Friendswood, Texas, right here in the Houston area, for the second summer in a row, a beer burglar has been raiding the refrigerators of Friendswood by breaking into garages in neighborhoods throughout town. Similar booze boost again occurring at the end of last summer and continued until a 19-year-old was arrested and charged with the theft in February. I'm surprised it started up again. Area resident Greg Shell told the What Up Doe Show, where we live, you don't typically have problems like this. Are they desperate for beer or something? I know my beer's cold. The beer's relevant at this point. It's the fact that someone is in my area when they shouldn't be. They in my area. That's right, my area. They shouldn't be in my area. If they want some beer, they can go down to the bar. They in my area, still in my beer. That ain't right. There ain't nothing right about it. It's Friendswood. Give a friend a beer. In Braintree, Massachusetts, coming straight out of Braintree, police charged a man with impersonating a police officer after he allegedly decorated his 2010 Maserati to look like a police cruiser and took it on a spin through Braintree. Coming straight out of Braintree. Sounds like this man didn't climb the brain tree. Nothing fell from the brain tree in his world. The unidentified idiot painted his sports car black and white and pasted decals for 911, K9, and speed enforcement on it. According to Braintree Police Chief Wayne Foster, the car was made to look like a police cruiser, and the only thing it was missing was that blue bubble light on the top of the car. If you are willing to screw up a Maserati, Braintree is not where you belong. Coming straight out of Braintree. Leonardtown, Maryland. An officer from the St. Mary's County Sheriff's Office was summoned to a home after Michelle Worrow had started tossing bricks through someone's window. According to the homeowner, Worrow is his daughter-in-law. Worrow broke 9 windows at the home with landscaping bricks and caused an estimated $8,000 worth of damage before being taken into custody. That is a lot of goddamn windows. It's a lot of freaking windows, man. $8,000. After Corporal Connolly arrested her, Worrow said, "This was fun, and they're a bunch of bitches." Those bitches needed their windows knocked out. They're a bunch of bitches. I was just having a good time, and he's just bitching. I arrest him for being the bitch of the week. Yeah, I still have a little issue with my little double click thing, so don't worry about the little chip, boom, chip, boom. In Water Springs, Florida, a Florida grandmother wants her hair salon to fork over $1,000 after a stylist gave her a haircut that is so bad it is affecting her social life. Your grandmother, your social life should be over now. Stop that. Stop going to the strip clubs, damn it, Granny. Beyond Bradshaw wants the money for the pain and suffering, quote unquote, she has endured after getting butchered by a Great Clips employee. Bradshaw now has a bald spot and uneven pieces of hair throughout the rest of her head. Cut it all off, damn it. Cut it all off, Granny. The look is so bad that Great Clips general manager Michelle Bates offered Bradshaw $60 to buy a wig. Damn. Must be bad. I take that back, Granny. You got a case.
I attend church regularly. I have a social life. I play bingo. I go down to the corner market. I can't go anywhere with my head looking like this. I look like I got the mange.
Bradshaw told the What Up Doe Show.
I take pride in my hair. All the old men down the road, they think I'm sexy. Now I'm too sexy for my hair. My appearance means a lot to me. See these titties? That's real shit. But now somebody looks at me and they might think I'm a man with my hair all cut off like that. Think I got the mange. Well, sue them bitches.
Sue them bitches, Granny. And it is now time for your Netflix movie review. All right, this is a recap of a previous movie that I watched, and I just watched part 2. I've seen it, okay, but I had to watch it again because I wanted to give it to you. I watched Ip Man 2 for all you karate flick fans. Ip Man and Ip Man 2, but you gotta see the one with Donnie Yen. Donnie Yen is the man. I'm telling you, Ip Man is the shiznit. It was just as good as the first one, if not better. Awesome scene. The best scene out of both movies was this scene where they were fighting on the table, the round table. Awesome blossom. Man, I loved it. It's a cool scene. It was also a cool scene at the end when little Bruce Lee shows up at his door to join the school, because the truth is, in real life, Ip Man is a real person, and he is the person that trained Bruce Lee. So in the first one, there is no mention of Bruce Lee until credits. They mention it. Well, this one, in the final scene, a little boy shows up at the door. I'm Bruce Lee. I want to learn how to fight. So it's a good flick, man. It's a great flick. I gave it 4 stars. I should have gave it 5. I may as well give it 5. It's a 5-star movie to me. I love it, love it, love it that much. But I actually just gave it a very, 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 very high 4. Highly recommended. Ip Man, baby. IPMAN. Ip, like not a hero, like it is Ip Man, but it is Ip Man. IPMAN, 2 words. That's just his name. And in real life, his real name is actually Yip Man with a Y. It's YIP actually, but the movie is Ip Man. Check it out. You gotta love it if you like karate movies. It is absolute classic cinema. And that is my Netflix movie review. Normally on that note, I get out of here, man, but I got something else to touch on before I go, and I just wanted to finish everything before I got there, because I didn't know how I was going to react to hearing myself talk about this story. As you all by now know, there was a young kid named Mike Brown, 17-year-old kid Mike Brown, shot to death in the middle of the street in Ferguson, Missouri by police. His friend Dorian Johnson, who was with him at the time, his account of what happened is totally unlike the account of the St. Louis Police Department's account of the shooting. I heard someone sent a video. Someone sent a video to me yesterday of a young lady who was telling her story right after it all happened. She saw the bulk of this out of her window, and her story was eerily consistent with that of Dorian Johnson's story. Totally supportive. Johnson said he went to the police to report his story, and they told him to get the hell out. They just told him to, basically to fuck off. They don't want to hear it. But they're under investigation now. So somebody has to face the music on this. There's a 17-year-old unarmed kid that's dead. Now, the way the story was told by Johnson, they were walking in the middle of the street. And I'm going to keep it real here because I want to do some translation, because I know they are not angels. Okay? They were walking in the middle of the street. The cop pulled up, rode by them and said, "Get the F out of the street." Now, I'm sure at that point that what he left out was they said something back to the cop. But he says they just told him, "Hey, we'll be out the street in a minute. We're almost at home. We're almost where we're going." to our destination. I'm sure they didn't say it that night. I'm sure they said something else. If the cop really said, get the F out the street, they probably said F you, whatever, blah, blah, blah. They probably got smart. Okay. So then the cop pulls around and kind of cuts off the street. And they got close enough, they were close enough to the car that when the cop went to open the door, it bumped Mike Brown and closed back and bounced off of him and closed back. Maybe they closed it back. My guess is when the cop went to open the door, they pushed it back closed and tried to take off running. Let's be real. That sounds like the fill in the blanks on Dorian's story. I think the rest of Dorian's story was actually what happened afterwards, though. And I don't think, even if I'm right about what he didn't say, I don't think it warranted the death of this young man. Now, the cops say they were out of the car and got into a tussle with Mike, and he reached for his gun, and the gun went off, and it don't make sense. What Dorian says what happened is the cop reached out of the window and caught Mike Brown, and grabbed him and tried to pull him into the car. And Mike pulled away and was getting away, and the cop pulled a gun and shot him. Mike was still able to pull away and run down the street, and they started to run, and Mike and Dorian ran and hid behind a car. Now, this other lady, when she looked out the window, she also saw Dorian hiding behind the car. And her account of what happened next was almost exactly the same as what Dorian Johnson said. So as he started running, another shot was taken. And that second shot hit Mike Brown in the back. And at that point, Mike Brown turned around, raised his hands, and according to Dorian said, "I don't have a gun. Please stop shooting. I'm not armed. Stop shooting." And with his hands in the air facing the officer then let off several more shots, including one to the face, one to the chest, and several more shots into Mike Brown at that point, and left him dead in the street. And folks, when is enough enough? I'm sick of this shit. I'm real tired of it. I hear everybody telling them, the blaming, the rioting and the looting is don't do this and don't. Somebody, it is the language they understand. I'm sorry, and I don't mean, maybe I need $2 billion for what I'm about to say, but the language, whites are a very violent culture. They really are. Look at history. History tells you they are a very violent culture. Two things that get their attention is violence and money. They listen. And unfortunately, we have to do something, because whatever we've been doing lately has not been working. It's been driving us backwards and driving us back to where they feel it is okay to use brutal force on us for any given reason. Eric Garner just is not even, his body's not even cold yet. Eric Garner is the guy that was killed by police when he was put in a brutal chokehold outside for selling Lucy's. And his body is not even cold, and here we are burying a 17-year-old child who was unarmed and shot 10 times for walking in the street. Okay, maybe he disrespected the cop when the cop disrespected him. Maybe that's true. But 10 bullets is not the answer. It's not the way you resolve that issue. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. It's going to explode. If you keep killing our children, Something has to give, and something has to happen that nobody wants to have happen. But it has to. There's no other answer. If there were, this would stop. I'm sorry. It is very frustrating. It is very frustrating to see these stories over and over and over again. Police are not armed so that they can take their frustrations out on black children or people in general. Let's escape from race for a minute, even though it's hard to ignore. But escape from it. This was a kid that was headed to college. He was on his way. He was supposed to be starting school this week. Instead, he's on national TV, laying dead in the street. Laying dead in the middle of the street on national television, splattered all over internet, all over Facebook, all over Twitter, all over you. He's everywhere. Dead. I saw a video of him laying in the street. I saw a video of them laying a sheet over him in the middle of the street. Police are armed to protect us, not to kill us, not to take their frustrations out just because they get mad, just because they took some steroids no, that's not why you're armed. It's not, or you're not armed to just kill people because you're angry. I don't know what needs to be done to correct it, but this man needs to be in prison for the rest of his life. And if they have the death penalty, burn his ass at the stake. And investigation needs to be put on to the rest of that department. 3 black police officers in Ferguson. Ferguson is 67% black. 67% black population. And only 3 of 50 officers are black. That is not proper representation, and that's why we have a problem. Let's do something. Let's fix it. That's all I got, man. I'm sorry it took so long this morning, but I got to get out of here. Peace out. Press your crease out. Keep the police out. I can't do it. Peace.